Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome.
Recording in progress.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Commissioner agenda items for 2 o'clock on April 18th, 2023. Let the record reflect that we did not receive any written comments for today's agenda. I will start, and we are going to take items 5F and 5G separately. I will start with our open public forum. So this is a time for anyone who would like to speak to anything that is not on our current agenda. And so I will open that up. And I do have Mr. Brandon Ward. So, and you have Rachel Ward is with you, and she has given your 3 minutes to you. So you have 6 minutes. And we'll have the clock starting once you state your name and address for the record. Turn that on. There we go.
I'm used to it now. So
I know, you're pro.
My name is Brandon Ward. I live at 18814 West Burnett, Nine Falls, Washington, 99026. I'll spare you the first 19 pages. We managed to get to those last week, and then we got shortened on time. So it's the same documents as last week with just 2 additions. But I just supplied you with 1 copy because we're killing a lot of trees here. Page 20 shows that it's just from the code book, 14616-300. It says prior to the issuance of building permit, evidence of compliance with the provisions of this section shall be provided. I think we all know that there's action in district court regarding storage and construction yard. And since we know that the storage has not been complied with, why are we still issuing them permits? So he's been issued a grading permit, which he's using to pave 16,000 additional square feet around his barn, which is termed a sidewalk by your building official. So a sidewalk's 3 feet wide. That would be a sidewalk 1,700 feet long, which would circumvent over half of his property, being a 20-acre parcel. So generally out in the country, we don't have sidewalks. So that is kind of nonsensical to myself and the other people involved. And then we've also issued him a mechanical permit. So putting in HVAC and plumbing in a building that was not permitted properly in the first place, fraudulent information was used, doesn't help with compliance. It's actually pointless. All it does is benefit Don Bailey with giving him a residence in a barn with a bathroom with fake permits, and that's out of compliance. This is the compliance we need to be worrying about. 4B and the construction yard. Supplied you with yet another picture. Crane truck still in there. Gave you 2 pictures last week of the prior 2 weeks. Crane truck is still in the barn with the bathroom as of yesterday, and we read the permit 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it clearly said that no commercial vehicles are allowed in this building. It's for farm and ag use only. And right now they're busy repairing that chipper shredder, have it in the shop right now. Again, that's a commercial item. Why are they repairing it in the shop? So it's a commercial building. And then 23, this is a Google Earth, so it's not a drone photo, so it's acceptable for everybody. This shows 110,547 square feet have been removed from agricultural purpose. So to get this property into compliance, we would need to address that. And by allowing more paving and more grading, we're actually going to make that bigger. Since this picture's been taken, Don Bailey has probably graded another at least several hundred square feet, and he's busy paving away as we speak. An acre is 43,560 square feet. So he is at over 2 acres removed from agricultural use. And the back of his permit says he has to have a change of use. He also has to notify, well, again, I think it says SEPA permits required, and also you have to notify Department of Ecology. So this property is not even close to being into compliance. Why are we issuing permits? 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Furthermore, it appears from the meeting I had with Al French earlier this month, well, it'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow, that they're going to allow Don Bailey to site screen his debris. He's busy piling it up on the other side of his fences. It looks like a marijuana farm over there now with the 6-foot sight screen green fences. 14616, 300, section 4 under B, which is what he's actually in district court over right now, says that, I'm going to read it. All storage, including storage of recyclable materials, on lots not qualifying as primary agricultural parcels shall be within a building or shall be screened from view from the surrounding properties. This is a large tract agricultural property. He cannot site screen. For example, the gentleman in Green Bluff that had 700, well, it's probably 800 cars now total. He wasn't offered a chance to site screen, and I believe that's a small tract agriculture. Again, it's agriculture. He can't site screen. So why is Don Bailey being allowed to site screen? Either he's got permission from you or he's received some bad information. I want to know if this is something that he's going to suddenly be allowed to do, which violates Section 4B. So I have a lot of concerns. We have a date with Don Bailey next month for compliance on his court order. And right now he's got all of his vehicles there, all of his commercial vehicles, every single thing he owns is stored back on the lot because he was given a grading permit. So I could look at 6 semis every day. I could look at all of the equipment he moves out every day so he can get in and out of his shop to fix and work on equipment. And it's basically like living on Trent. I didn't move out to 9 Mile to live on Trent. So this is never going to be in compliance because over 2 acres has been removed. We're at what, 2.25 acres have been removed from agricultural use. Compliance isn't giving him an HVAC permit. Giving him any permits does nothing except give Don Bailey pecuniary gain. And that is personally offensive to reward this type of behavior with further permits. That is all.
Thank you. Commissioner French?
So with the last time that Mr. Ward and I and Mike Nelson met on this, Mike had indicated that he was going to be monitoring and meeting with our building department staff and code enforcement to try and address several of the issues that, you know, Mr. Ward raises now and raised in the meeting and stuff. So I have not had a chance to catch up to Mr. Nelson since then. I'm assuming that you have or somebody in the department has, so that we can make sure that we do have constant monitoring and enforcement actions going on relative to this property. So have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Nelson here lately to find out, you know, where he stands on many of these issues?
I believe I spoke with Mr. Nelson a couple of weeks ago on this one. They are working on it. As far as legal action, though, nothing can happen until the next court date. And as far as the other issues that are being monitored, you know, there are a number of permits that are currently open, which does put those issues, you know, while those permits are open, and at this point they're validly open, we can't enforce on the issues that surround the open permits. You know, and part of coming into compliance on a number of these issues does involve, you know, a kind of step-by-step process. And so, especially as far as equipment on site and supplies on site, while there is an open building permit, it is difficult to say what is and what is not being used towards for the purposes of that permit. And as our current legal action is criminal in nature, we do have to prove any violation beyond a reasonable doubt. And so with that standard, we would have to have solid proof that any violation is outside of what is permissible under any permits that have been issued. And so those are the constraints with which we are working, but it is being monitored. And as Mr. Ward noted, we do have a court hearing coming up in a few weeks.
Okay, we continue to push it. I wish I could offer you more, but I mean, it's now in the legal system, so
May I respond to that? Just take a
it's
second.
up to the chair.
I'm going to say, we've just got other things we need to do. So you've had your 6 minutes, and I'm trying to keep the public to that. So-
And is this your response that you were due tomorrow? Is this it? You were said, give you 2 weeks. Or is there going to be something further?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since I've talked to
Yeah.
Mr. Miller and stuff, so we'll follow up on it and then get back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Second call for anyone wishing to testify on any items that are not on today's agenda. Seeing no one online, no one in the audience. Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify at our open public forum. Again, seeing no one in the audience and no one online, I will close the open public forum at this time and let's go to our next item, which is we have 2 proclamations today. The first one is to proclaim April 30th, 2023 as National Therapy Animal Day. I'm not sure who's, okay, Commissioner French.
Yep. Evidently, I'm the one in charge of therapy. So, no, thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to read this proclamation. I'll read the proclamation into the record as a motion in the matter of proclaiming and promoting April 30, 2023 as National Therapy Animal Day. Whereas there are thousands of therapy animal teams serving communities across the United States, and whereas pet partners an organization striving to improve human health and well-being through the human-animal bond, has designated April 30 as National Therapy Animal Day. And whereas therapy animal teams in Spokane County play an essential role in improving health, human health, and well-being through the animal-human bond, and whereas therapy animal teams make millions of visits per year in settings such as hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and hospice, and whereas therapy animal teams interact with a variety of people, including veterans, seniors, patients, students facing literacy challenges, and those approaching end of life, and whereas these exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human companions bring comfort and healing to those in need. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of Spokane County, on behalf of the citizens of Spokane County, do hereby proclaim April 30, 2023 as National Therapy Animal Day to celebrate therapy animals and their human handlers. Furthermore, Spokane County publicly salutes the service of therapy animal teams in our community and in communities across the nation, dated this 18th day of April, 2023.
I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. So I know we have Margot in the audience here, and I apologize that I don't know your name.
Allison Miller.
Allison Miller. There we go. Allison, if you would like to come up and say something, and then we'll come down and get a picture with you. And Margot.
Thank you, good girl. Well, good afternoon. My name is Allison Miller, and this is Margot. We are a Pet Partners team, and we've been, I have been a part of a therapy animal team now for 12 years in Spokane County. And first of all, I just want to say that therapy animals are a little different than service animals or emotional support animals. Service animals and emotional support animals give those services to their owners, whereas a therapy animal goes along with their handler to bring joy and comfort to others out in the community. So that's the difference. So Margot really is to be petted, to be loved. Some people will see her with their little vest on and say, oh, she's working, I can't pet her. But in reality, she's working, so you're supposed to pet her. And she's a really good girl. There are about 100 different certified pet therapy teams in the greater Spokane region. And that does include northern Idaho, but that's kind of our region. And they do go to a myriad of different places, some mentioned in the proclamation, but I just want to go through and tell you that we have people at the hospitals here in town, many nursing homes, assisted livings. She is not very patient when somebody's not petting her. Can you sit, please? Thank you. And hospice. schools here in Spokane County, as well as many mental health care facilities in Spokane County. And also, even on this campus, there are therapy dogs at the courthouse. So it does do important work. Therapy has been shown to, therapy dogs or animals, there's more than just dogs, have been shown to decrease blood pressure, anxiety, heart rate, even pain scores in hospitalized patients, and overall have a feeling of well-being and happiness after you've been visited with a therapy animal. So it is rewarding work for me and for Margot, and on to represent the. I'm honored to represent the 100 or so therapy teams in Spokane County, and I appreciate very much you guys making this proclamation.
Thank you. If you stay there, we're going to come down and give you the proclamation and take a picture. I know, we may need one of those in the commissioner's office. Okay, so then that takes us to item number 2B on today's agenda, which is to proclaim May 7th through 13th, 2023, National Corrections Officers and Employees Week. So I look to Commissioner Kearns.
Madam Chair, I will read this proclamation in the form of a motion. It's a proclamation in the matter of proclaiming May 7th through the 13th, 2023 National Correctional Officers and Employees Week. Whereas correctional employees in Spokane County form a core element of the public safety teams in our community. Our correctional employees and detention services provide supervision, treatment services, reentry guidance, and emotional support for more than 26,000 individual cases in the course of a calendar year, while promoting positive behavior, constructive attitudes, and life skills within the inmate population to reduce recidivism and facilitate successful reintegration into the community. And whereas in Spokane County, our correctional employees are trained law enforcement professionals who engage in dangerous and potentially life-threatening situations every day. And whereas members of the Spokane County community should recognize the increasingly complex, dangerous, and challenging responsibilities carried out by every correctional employee in detention services. Each correctional employee accepts enormous personal and professional responsibility, and whereas National Correctional Officers and Employees Week acknowledges the work of our correctional officers and employees who serve this honorable profession nobly and admirably. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners of Spokane County, Washington, do hereby proclaim May 7th through 13th, 2023 as National Correctional Officer and Employees Week, and encourage all our citizens to join in recognizing the employees of detention services for their role in safeguarding the citizens of Spokane County by providing safe, secure, and humane incarceration and reentry services to individuals within their custody, dated this 18th day of April 2023.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. It's like a tie to see who's going to win the second here now. I love it. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so it's not Lieutenant Hooper anymore, so is it Chief? Okay. Thank you. Yes, we'd love to have you come down with your team, who are awesome. We'll let you speak for a few minutes, and then we'll present the award and take some pictures.
Well, thank you very much. It's on. I don't think my voice, I don't usually need it. They say I'm too loud. So, well, thank you, commissioners. We've been coming for about the last 4 or 5 years, I think. I think we've been celebrating Corrections Officer and Employee Appreciation Week within Detention Services for about 7 or 8 years. We bring pizza, we bring snacks, we bring gift cards. We spend about $6,000 a year, all from employee donations. So all our own staff donate on a monthly basis. And it's been growing every year. So just number one, I just want to say thank you for supporting it. It's a big week for us. It's a big month for us. We just finished, award ceremony was 2 weeks or about a week ago. And I think for the commissioner was there and Mr. Simmons was like, this job continues to get more difficult. And so the number of events we have where we're saving lives, 26,000 people through their year. They had about 800 events last year where we had a life-saving event, what we classified either a suicide attempt or other life-saving events. So I just said the job that our corrections officers do on a daily and weekly basis, like a lot of times is unseen by the community. It's not as visible as law enforcement, but the job goes hand in hand with law enforcement. So just, I think I had some other things to say, but the number one is just to say thank you for the support. We have a big week. It's the first full week in May. It's week is May 7th through the 12th. Every day that week we have prizes going out, about $2,000 or $3,000 worth of gift cards, pizza every day, donuts every day, filling everybody up. So I'll send the schedule over to Gina. We'd love to have you guys over for lunch. Like I said, we have more pizza than we can eat, so we'd love to have some of you guys come over if you'd like to. So. And I think that's all I have to say. Introduce my team. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I was going to say, please introduce your
Didn't I
team
do
for
this
us.
again? This is twice now. So my team here, Lieutenant Lewis Worth, Lieutenant Jason Robinson, Lieutenant Darren Lehman, and everybody knows Senior Director Mike Sparber. He was in my role prior to myself, and so I've been in this role for about a month, and I did it in an interim basis for about a year. So, but thank you. That's all. So.
Thank you. Now we're gonna have you come. Sherry, do you want here or there? Okay, we're gonna have you come around for photos and get your proclamation. Okay, so then we will continue on with our meeting, and again, we are going to take item 5F and G separately, so I'll look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, move to approve items 3, 4, and 5, including all sub-items with the exception of 5F and 5G.
Second.
It's like waiting for this second. Usually it's quicker. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. So that was for 3, 4, and 5 and all sub-items except 5F and G. That will then take us to item number 5F and 5G.
Madam Chair, move to approve item 5F.
And G?
Do you want them both at the same time?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, I move to approve items 5F and 5G.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve items number 5F and 5G. Any further discussion?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. And I appreciate the Chair allowing us to take these separately in the agenda. I wanted to speak to both of these and just give the public a little bit more information about not only this, but a pattern that you're going to see more frequently as we move forward. But 5F is a partnership between the airport and the county where we are investing in infrastructure to continue to facilitate economic development in the West Plains and around the airport. There is a double 90 curve at the intersection of Craig Road and Thorpe that is difficult for semis to navigate. It's a safety issue as well as a deterrent to be able to use that thoroughfare. And so the airport is contributing that property to the county so that we can make the improvements to it. So it's about a partnership to make that corridor safer. And I want to express my appreciation to the leadership at the airport board, and also the city and the county that I fully expect is going to approve this. I will vote in favor of it very enthusiastically. But the other part of it is item G, which is the sale of property that is currently owned by the airport. And if you've been following the actions of the airport, the city, and the county over the last several months, you will notice that there are several sales that have been brought forward for board approval. So I just want to explain a little bit to the public about the nature of these transactions. The airport is owned 50% by the city, 50% by the county, and so by the terms of the interlocal agreement, the airport cannot sell land, only the city and the county can. So the airport recommends to the city and the county for land that either is going to be purchased and or sold, and then it's up to us to approve that, but we generally follow the leadership provided by the airport. The airport has been engaged in this activity since 1962. So right now, the airport has, in 2018, adopted a airport layout plan that identifies a configuration for a second parallel runway. Now that that has been identified, the land that the airport had acquired for future expansion that is no longer needed, the airport is in the process of selling that land to the private sector to get it back on the tax rolls, to create more jobs and more economic opportunity on the West Plains, and the revenue from the sale of that helps offset costs for the expansion of the airport. It's not a secret. The airport is engaged in the most expansive remodel and expansion opportunity right now in decades for the airport. Well, part of that is being paid for by selling surplus property, much like we've done here at the county with the sale of the 8th Avenue Medical Office Building, putting that back in the private sector, and the sale of the racetrack, and taking those funds and reusing them for other governmental services to benefit our taxpayers. So I appreciate not only the support that my fellow commissioners have shown in terms of supporting the growth and expansion of the airport, but also the city council, who has also been a strong partner with us in trying to promote economic development and the airport, and to give this community a Class A facility. And keep in mind, the airport is the front door for this community. For many that come here, they come by air, and their first impression of Spokane is the airport. And so we want to be able to make sure that our front door is as good as we can make it, and Larry Crowder and his team is doing that. So I just want to say kudos to the airport and their team, and I want to say my appreciation to my fellow commissioners and the city council for continuing to work as partners to be able to provide expansion and promotion of this vital asset to the community. So thank you. That was my words.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That will then take us to item number 6, which is a public hearing today in the matter concerning the approval of the lease extension, 18 CS 2257, parentheses 5, with Pioneer Human Services for property owned by Spokane County's Community Services Department located at 703 East Hartson Avenue, Spokane, Washington, for the period of July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024, will increase in the amount of $40 to $55 for the 2-year period. And we have Justin Johnson on the line. There we go. Hi, Justin. You're going to speak to this, so I will go ahead and have you speak to it before I open up for public comment.
Thank you, Commissioners. Public, this is just a continuation of the existing services are provided through our Phoenix contract to provide supportive services for individuals transitioning out of the intensive behavioral health inpatient facilities, including our Eastern State Hospital facility. Really, the transition between an inpatient setting, individuals experiencing severe and persistent mental illness is challenging. This provides easy access and ongoing support to ensure that recovery and resiliency in the community. The continuation of this contract just continues to promote that availability of the service in the community and further enhances the ongoing supports available to vulnerable individuals.
Great. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments for Justin? Okay, I don't see any, so thank you. Very good. So this is a public hearing item, so then I will open it up to the public for anyone who wishing to comment. First call for anyone wishing to comment on item number 6A, just presented by Justin Johnson with our Community Services Department. Seeing no one online, no one in the audience. Second call for anyone wishing to testify on item number 6A. Seeing no one online, seeing no one in the audience. Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify on item number 6A. I will close the public hearing and I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move to approve public hearing item number 6A as presented by staff.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Justin, for being with us today.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, that takes us to our last item, which is to adjourn, but I'm going to check to see if there's any other items to come before the board at this time. I think we were going to discuss, from yesterday, we talked about discussing a special meeting date for next week.
Yes, I think the date that the commissioners had identified was Thursday, and that would be on the 27th at 2 p.m. I believe that was workable for most of all the commissioners' calendars.
I think so. I may be trying to catch a flight that would leave at 5:30 that night. So, yeah. So they don't have the afternoon exactly scheduled, but I think if anyone's willing to, like noon is an open time at the lunch. So I don't know.
And is, just because I know some of the commissioners are going to be in different time zones,
Yes.
is that noon Spokane time or noon Eastern?
So noon Eastern time, so that would
Okay.
be at 9 a.m. here.
Okay.
Works for me. On the 27th? Yeah.
just fine.
Okay, so let's have it be at noon and, or 9 a.m., yes, sorry. It's like too many time zones. So 9 a.m. on Thursday, the 27th, is that what that day is? Yes, April 27th, to have a special meeting to approve a contract.
We will get it set up for notice for next week.
Okay. And Commissioner Jordan will be in the conference room with the Zoom set up for everybody, so thank you.
Got you covered.
We appreciate that, as several of the commissioners will be on the GSI fly-in to DC that week. So we are making this happen. So thank you all very much for making that happen, and we'll have that meeting. Otherwise, we will be breaking next week and coming back the first week of May. At that special meeting, we're just asking in advance for everyone to use their signature stamp who is not in attendance?
Yes.
Okay, yes, perfect. You have that. Okay, thank you very much. That concludes our meeting. We have no further business to bring forward, so I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.